So I'm just going to show you how I scan black and white negative film as a positive and then convert it in Photoshop. So we've got our film type as positive, film with film holder, that's all fine, but we're in 48-bit color. So I've found very little benefit in scanning black and white negative in color, although there is some debate as to whether you can get better tones. I find 16-bit grayscale works fine. So I'll just go ahead and scan that. So black and white test, and it's scanning as a TIFF. So here's the black and white neg we've just scanned. Just opening it in Photoshop. So again, it's come up with this error message saying there's no embedded grayscale profile, because remember we chose grayscale as the scanning space. So we're going to assign gray gamma 2.2. It's a good generic gray space to use, and a lot of printers will recognize that space. So we can see again that it's the wrong way up. In the scanning software there is a way of flipping the images around, but you can do it quite quickly here. So I'm just going to do that counterclockwise. Now this is much more straightforward than doing color neg. We simply invert the image, and it's already looking pretty close. It's just a bit washed out. So I've just activated a new curves adjustment layer, and we simply set the black and the white points. Now what I like to do is to do this visually. If you hold down the Option key and drag the black point here where the cursor is, the image whites out, and then what you're seeing there is where the image is clipped. So if I let go of the Option key now, you'll see we've clipped all the shadows. There's no information in there anymore. So that's not much good. So what we want to do is start our clipping just before any of the information is lost. So if I just click Option again and hold down the black point slider, I'm just going to back off until there's virtually no clipping. So it's easy to see where that is. It's just at the beginning here where all the information starts in the image. But the image still looks pretty flat. The other thing we can do is do some white point clipping. So we've actually included quite a bit of this white frame around the image, so that's actually giving us a bit of data there. That's what that little spike is. So we could chop that off. So again, holding down the Option key. So you can see that's clipping all of that white frame, but we don't want to clip anything really in the image, so we'll just back off a little bit. Something like that. So that's looking quite good, although still a little flat. So let's just zoom in and have a look at the image. Yeah, so it's just a very open, flat image. So it needs contrast. So how you add contrast using a curve is what we call an S-curve. So you need 2 points, and the first point, which is the first part of the S, goes up. You can see our shadows getting a bit more contrasty, and then the next point down here is the bottom of our S. So it might be something like that. It's really up to your own taste, but going not too far is always the key. So I'm going to bring, and you can always add another point in the middle if you feel you need to do that. So I'm going to bring in that mid-tone area. So that's the way I scan and convert color neg. And the beauty of it is, similar to when you're scanning color neg, is you're controlling exactly where the image is clipping, whereas the scanning software is making that decision for you, and it will often clip data within the image that you don't want to be clipped. For instance, the highlights of these lights and the reflection of the lights.